Today we will focus on a cast iron stove and the main material used to create it. Cast iron stoves came into popularity in the 18th century and underwent many different design iterations. Stoves were designed exclusively for heating, like the one in the picture, or could also be designed for cooking. On the right, we have an SEM image of cast iron. Note the bumpy, uneven surface and the small grains, which are actually graphite nodules that make up the carbon composition of cast iron. Today, cooking stoves are no longer made of cast iron, as several metallic and synthetic materials have taken its place as a more efficient and reliable heating material. Cast iron has been found dated to at least the 5th century BCE in Jiangsu, China. Evidently, this material is one of the first materials to be understood and intentionally crafted by humans for a specific purpose. In ancient China, cast iron was used for everything from weapons and farm implements to cooking utensils and architecture. In the West, cast iron did not become widely available until the 15th century, when it was mainly used for warfare in cannons and cannonballs. With the advent of the Industrial Revolution, cast iron saw its peak of usage, with blast furnaces becoming common in many Western nations. At this time, cast iron was used for many industrial applications and architecture. We have many materials that you can find cast iron. We have a cast iron bridge, like this one over the River Severn in England, cast iron facades on buildings, like in Soho, New York City, and cast iron piping or cooking materials. Cast iron production, it is made from pouring melted pig iron, the product obtained from smelting iron ore in a blast furnace, into a mold. Blast furnaces are used to melt the pig iron. Sometimes a smaller blast furnace, called a cupola, can be used to melt the pig iron, but it is more common to use an induction furnace for large-scale production of cast iron objects. Cast iron is an easy-to-produce material composed of iron-carbon alloys with the carbon content greater than 2%. The melting point still exceeds 1500 degrees Celsius, meaning most of the primary applications of cast iron involve heat. Cast iron is often used in cookware and old-fashioned stoves or fireplaces. Cast iron is also very malleable, but it is incredibly resistant to any type of physical destruction and is easily machined and casted into a desired shape. These properties lend cast iron a wide range of applications for whenever a material needs to be strong and wear resistant. As a result, cast iron can also be found in automobile parts, pipes, plumbing, and many different machine parts. Cast iron was a cheap and sturdy material to use throughout history before steel became more beneficial to use in its place. In this graph, we see that after 1980, the labor being put into cast iron production superseded its current usage. This was a money sink for companies that were putting in the effort to make cast iron products. In graph 2, we see the steel crisis from 1979 to 1982. Iron production drastically decreased due to a reduction in the steel market, leading to many workers being laid off and facilities being closed. Cast iron, though very strong and resistant to compression, oxidizes easily and therefore becomes structurally weak over time. This fact has resulted in many bridge collapses and building disasters involving old cast iron architecture, the most famous of which is the Tay Rail Bridge. The original bridge was built of cast iron and collapsed on the night of December 28, 1879, resulting in the death of 75 people. Several incidents like this led to the decline of cast iron as an architectural material. These are our references for those who would like to research further into the subject.